Over here at the Stakehouse, some of us are feeling smug. And by some of us, I mean me. Three bets last time out, three winners last time out. I'm
First
Conor
time
McCabe.
ever.
I'm Conor McCabe, joined by my tipping understudy, Lucas Dzinski. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Everyone remembers the first 3 out of 3 bets, so don't worry about
Yeah, I've never done it before ever. Anywho, let's see how many more we can get this week. We're diving straight in with Brighton versus Everton. What's the model saying?
that. I watched Everton yesterday. Actually, we were recording this on the Tuesday when I'm playing Leeds. It was a game of two halves. First half, they were so bad. Like Leeds were all over them. Leeds should have really won the game in the first half.
Yep.
Second half, totally different side. But Brighton again, one of those teams where very inconsistent. We talked about them last week. I thought they were going to win against Fulham. The goal disallowed, really tight goal. Fulham, I think they got lucky to win this game. Everton have a few players coming back from injury. Brainworth back at the back.
Do you mean Braithwaite?
Brain.
What is with some of your pronunciation?
Hey, English is my second language technically, so there you go. Yeah, a few players coming back. Saying that, I mean, Everton are quite poor. But looking at the table, it's so compact in the middle. It's
Really
mental. It's crazy. But I got Brighton as Miles, like super favourites here. I expect them to win this game. Don't have a bet, but yeah, like
The 5 to 6 close to value then, or not?
no value, no value
value.
at all.
Okay.
No.
I mean, in terms of me, yeah, similar. It's hard to predict what Brighton are going to do, to be honest. Very up and down. They do seem to struggle a little bit as well against teams at home you expect them to beat, certainly if they sit in a low block. So I think that'll be tough for Brighton. Everton also have Iliman and Jai back, who looked pretty good last night. So
Yeah.
personally, again, I'd actually lean slightly towards Everton getting a result here, but similar to you, I don't sense enough value in this one. I'll predict a 1-1 draw for the game. Moving on to Leeds versus Arsenal, and this is one that you do see some value in, right?
Yeah. Look, Leeds are a decent team, especially at home. They're playing some really nice football as well. They should actually be high on expected points. They should actually be 10th on expected points, but they're actually 16th. Arsenal, they're just due a little blip, aren't they? They are. They really are.
I mean, in fairness, they came up against a monster last weekend, didn't they? So what are you going to do?
Yeah. To be fair, like I said, they're due a blip, and it was almost it was a weird game because they're usually really good at controlling the game, but they kind of like just kind of stepped away a bit against United. It was strange. And look, I think they're playing tomorrow in Champions League, but they're pretty much safe for the top spots, so they'll probably rotate some key players. So look, obviously, it's going to factor in a bit less rest for maybe one or two players, but Lee's got a full week off, playing at home. I reckon there's value in this, like +1. You can get Leeds +1 at 1.95. So look, if Leeds lose by 1, you get your money back. So you just need to hope for them not to get smashed. And I don't expect them to get smashed. Arsenal for one rarely smash teams as well, right? And Leeds, they should be getting a score sheet at home.
Yeah, I'm just trying to bring up the cards market, actually. I've just been thinking about this game, and I think about an angle on that because, like, with Arsenal, you say that it's a bit rare for them to sit back in the way they did second half. It's not really. They did the exact same thing against Liverpool at home a few weeks ago, and they got away with that because Liverpool didn't really have much of a cutting edge that game, even though Liverpool played very, very well.
I
Liverpool
wouldn't say
fought
I
that
don't mean
second
like
half.
rare to sit back, but they kind of like let the other team give the initiative too much. If you know what I mean, they were kind of almost like, yeah, it was a bit of a strange game for them.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, ultimately, I just think that they have a tendency to sit back and kind of stumble along over the line against the bigger sides and then try and beat the small sides. I don't think there's any need for Arsenal to push the panic button. The season is still there for them, but they need to be more bullish. Arteta's got an incredibly strong squad. The new director came in and can't remember his name, Burr something or other. He came in the summer.
What? Your pronunciation of that is horrendous.
I'm not even saying his name, let alone my pronunciation. For some reason, it slipped my mind. I'm sure someone will tell me. But he came in and did an incredible job. Basically gave Arteta exactly what he wanted in every single position. Arsenal can win this league by 10 points still, for me, if they want to, because none of the challengers look equipped to give them a run. Well, you're shaking your head, but who can run them close?
City.
In the form they're in. Hey?
City
can't, mate. City are absolutely nowhere near. Absolutely nowhere near. Until every single game is a struggle for City at the moment. Hence why you keep looking at angles against them.
Yeah, but the struggle for Arsenal is incoming.
I think their squad depth is incredible. I think that provided they start being a little bit more bullish, a little bit more confident, a little bit more you have a shot, we have a shot kind of approach, and start playing people like Eze and Madueke a little bit more. Because I think, Saka's had too long now. I know he's an incredible player, but he's not producing at the moment. And the same with Odegaard. So I think it's time to get those two players in, freshen it up, and go again. I think Arsenal should be okay. But again, I just think Arteta needs to be more bullish. In this game, every single thing matters for Leeds. Like West Ham's resurgence means that the relegation fight is becoming a very interesting scrap. And I think this game will be, with so much on the line for both these sides, with Arsenal looking to get back to a good result, I think there'll be a few tackles flying in. So I just looked, over 3 cards is 8 to 11. It's a little bit skinny in terms of value, but I do see this game being quite card heavy. Wouldn't put anyone off your tip either. Let's move on to Wolves versus Bournemouth, and I'm just trying to work out if the markets have swung too heavily in favour of Wolves here. Obviously, I know they've had a few good results, they've had a few good performances, but still bottom of the league. Still got beat quite comprehensively by City.
Yeah, but they didn't let City create much. They didn't let City create like 0.9 XG.
Yeah,
that's not bad playing away, right? But
it's
equally, when they played Newcastle at home, they created like nothing. So I personally don't have an angle this game. I feel like it's going to be a tight game. I got Bournemouth like 0.13 goals better, so look, I expect this to be a draw. I'm actually even eyeing up, ran some simulations, eyeing up Burnley to finish bottom, because I think Wolves will claw back some points, and I can see them just finishing second from bottom. You get 4.5 for Burnley to finish bottom, which is
not a bad price.
Quite big, I think.
Absolutely. I've actually been on the bet for a while myself, as tipped up by another tipster, but unfortunately not quite the same price as the one on offer right now, so not a bad time to jump
Lump
on.
in again.
I do think, though, a lot of people will be tempted in by Burnley at odds against here, going away to the bottom of the league side. Personally, I think a draw could be on the cards, a hard-fought 1-1.
That'll be huge for that bet. Like, gonna have to like back that before this game week starts, because I can see them getting a point out of this. Wolves.
Yeah, the thing is, imagine you back it
Burnley.
And then Wolves lose and Burnley draw or something, and then the odds are right to 6.
Then you got to lump in again.
Keep punting.
Yeah, keep punting.
Don't stop punting. Let's move on to the next fixture, which is my list has gone
Chelsea
awry.
West Ham.
There we go. Yeah, sorry, Chelsea West Ham. Bit to say on this one. First of all, on Chelsea, I'm actually really impressed by Liam Rosenior. I think his presence is good. I think the way he speaks is good. Yeah, 100%. I think the way that he carries himself is really strong. His body language is great. Everything about him at the moment, he's ticking every box. Chelsea have obviously taken a risk on him.
Not the performance though.
Yeah, I mean, look, that wouldn't worry me too much at this stage. It's going to take a while for him to embed his ideas. I don't put immediate performances down to a new manager too much, to be honest. I put it more down to a new manager bounce. So that wouldn't concern me so much. It's a bit early in his career, but I like the way he comes across I think it's good signs for Chelsea moving forward. In terms of West Ham, I think you have to give the board credit. They take a lot of stick, but before the 6-pointer against Nottingham Forest, they went out and bought 2 strikers. And then that game could not have gone any worse for them. They had a disallowed goal to go 2-0 up, which was marginal. Ended up getting beat 2-1 with a late goal and penalty in the last few minutes. So it's like everything went wrong, and then suddenly there were 7 points adrift, and it looked hopeless. But that massive win against Spurs has given them a new lease of life. They followed it up. And now if you look at that relegation scrap, it's actually getting interesting because I put up a tip at the start of the season, which
Palace to go down.
Palace to go down, which you
No
have
chance.
reminded me gleefully, episode
No
in,
chance.
episode out, about how ridiculous that suggestion was. And Palace and I win this in 10. They're only 8 points clear.
Yeah, so the Jew win then.
They're only 8 points clear. They're in free fall. The manager doesn't want to be there. They've just sold the best centre back. The centre forward wants to leave. They are all over the place. And suddenly the odds on Palace to go down are now around the 5-1 mark, which means that if I had placed this bet as a single before the season kicked off, I would now be able to cash out for a profit after everything you've said. So let's just leave that one there. In terms of this game,
You can cash out with me if you want.
but yeah, look, I think there's a really interesting relegation fight to be had, and I think that West Ham are going to really throw the cat amongst the pigeons with this game. And I am going to make a prediction, a tip, which is West Ham +1 in this game, because I think Chelsea are just too short. And when I look at West Ham +1, I can get a price of over even money, 2.05. I don't see Chelsea running away with this. Cole Palmer is only edging back to fitness. Chelsea look pretty unconvincing. You said it yourself. Brentford should have battered them at home.
Yeah.
They haven't looked great at home against these kind of mid-table sides, lower level sides. Again,
I mean, they didn't exactly batter Palace either, did they?
No, they didn't.
They didn't create. I mean, look, the goals are like kind of really good finishing and like maybe bad goalkeeping. I'd say, which Henderson's been quite good this season, so I can see it happening.
Yeah, you like it?
I don't like it because there's no value according to my model, but I can see that happening. And look, I really hope it does happen because it will make the relegation scrap a bit more fun.
Interesting. I think we're headed towards a very interesting battle down there. And there's a game coming up later in these fixtures, by the way, which is absolutely critical towards that. But we'll get to that. Liverpool versus Newcastle. What's the model saying?
Got Liverpool 0.4 goals better. It's a bit of a poor game against Bournemouth, wasn't it? Equally, Newcastle against Villa at home. I thought it was going to be a game that they can win. They didn't. The old Isak Derby, this one, and even though he's not going to be able to play, unfortunately, I feel like Liverpool will go back to winning ways. I don't really rate Newcastle, to be honest. I think they've been pretty poor away as well. Saying that, I think the price is probably just about right.
Cool. I mean, for me, this game screams reaction. You've got Liverpool that lost, as you mentioned, away at Bournemouth very, very late. Bit of a scrappy goal as well, which will annoy them. And they are well and truly in a top 4 battle with Chelsea and United now. So critical game for them.
Brentford?
Yeah. And they need to react. Newcastle, that was the most listless I've seen them on Tyneside for a long time. I don't really know what happened there. They just didn't turn up against Villa. Players didn't turn up. Fans didn't really turn up. It was just a bit nothingy. And I think that Eddie Howe will be desperate to see a reaction as well. So I think there'll be goals in this game. Neither of them are watertight at the back, particularly Newcastle away from home, particularly when Liverpool are still playing with Ibrahim Konate and 2 fullbacks that are not making me feel safe in the slightest. So both teams to score and then adding on one more goal from somewhere. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals comes in at 1.92, and that is an official tip. I think we could be in for a 3-2 here, by the way, is my prediction. 3-2 Liverpool. Let's move on. You just mentioned bees in their Champions League race. They're away at Villa. Are they
Yeah.
coming away with any points?
Yeah, all 3 points. No, I think Brentford have been playing really well. We haven't been getting quite the results. The Nottingham Forest game was quite frustrating, to be honest. But look, I've said that before. I said that last week, right? If
We
Forest
both call
get an
that.
early goal, then it's going to be tough to break down. Can't break down teams with play a low block. Our away performances, despite not getting too good of results, was actually been good. We've created a lot of chances. Aya's injured, it's a bit frustrating. Damsgaard as well, but look, Dan goes back. I think Sepp could do a job at the back. He was the regular centre back until he got injured, so I don't think there's going to be a huge weakening with Aya. Aya not fit, although some fans are divided on that. Villa struggling with a bit of injuries. Tillemans is injured as well for this game, I think, as well as Kamara McGinn. That's 3 key players out. I think Brentford plus a half. So basically, Brentford will draw is a bit of value, and you can get a price of 1.9. So I'll be making that an official tip.
Nice. Okay. Not one I would agree with myself, which will give you more confidence.
Yeah, I'm going double stake then.
I just think that Villa, they just keep getting it done. They really do. They've also, it looks like they're looking to spend and back Emery in the transfer window, which will increase the feel-good factor around Villa Park. But again, I worry about Brentford in this sort of game in terms of whether they will show enough killer instinct, which they didn't do against Chelsea. So
Yeah, look, they didn't. I'd be more worried about them not creating chances, but the chances they had were like really unfortunate not to put away, and that's as in like aggression to the mean. It's going to be a game where we put away the chances. I think this could be it.
yeah, I mean, look, I follow your tips, and I'm following this one. My gut feeling tells me it's going to be like 1-0 Villa or something, but let's see.
Sometimes you got to trust the process, innit?
Trust the process, absolutely. United versus Fulham. I mean, it's been the best 2 games of my last 13 years watching United. It really has. I'm so happy. We've beaten the 2 best teams in the Premier League by quite a long way. And we've deservedly done so. Like, we deserve to win both of those games. And the weirdest thing of all is reverting to a back 4. We somehow look tighter. We've taken a man out of that situation. We look better for it, and which has then allowed us to place another man in midfield, Manu coming back in, crucially pushed Bruno Fernandes into a number 10 role, where he looks so much more at home, and suddenly we look a million times better side. It's not
Maguire
rocket
starting
science.
at the back as well with Martinez.
Yeah, good to have
partnership.
him back, playing well, apart from his own goal, but playing really well.
Yeah, I mean that own goals.
But the whole setup just looks so much better. And again, it's not rocket science, so it's great to see. But this is almost a bigger test, because now everyone expects. Nobody has expected the last 2 games, and now everybody expects. And it's whether if United can deal with that pressure, I'd be hugely impressed. Any sort of win is a great result for United. At 3-5, 1.6, they're way too short to touch. I'm going to let my heart rule my head and say that United will nick this 2-1 and continue the run, but absolutely not having a bet on it.
Yeah, look, I got United significant favourites there. I expect them to win the game.
Okay. Music to my ears. Now we'll come to that relegation barnstormer that I'm talking about here. And Palace win. They effectively pull clear, almost clear and safe, and make me look a bit silly. Palace don't win, or Palace get beat, and suddenly they are smack bang in the mix. Particularly if West Ham do get that result at Chelsea, I think they could. So this is a massive game, and I do think Palace will lose again. So much so that I'm putting up again as an official tip. I think Forest again getting hungry in the transfer market. Very good result at Brentford. Every single game matters to them as well. Generally, a much better side at home. The City Ground is a very, very tough place for any side to go than they are away. And again, Palace at the moment, I know they've got some players back from AFCON, fine, but Brennan Johnson hasn't really done it, right, since he joined. Not completely convinced. I just don't see enough there for Palace. I really don't. Also, crucially, Adam Wharton out. That's a huge loss. I think Forest this will be tight. There will not be many goals in this game. And whoever scores first will just try and shut up shop. So if you want to look at the unders market here, I absolutely don't blame you. For me, though, I'm predicting a home win. And you can get a price of almost even money. And that is, for me, a good value.
Oh, I'm very tempted to be back in Palace plus a half.
Wow.
Yeah, I reckon I think Forest at home evens is just a bit too short, even though with Palace's issues. However, they're almost back to full strength. Okay, minus Gahey, obviously.
Massive loss.
Wharton as well. But I might wait to see what happens with Mateta.
He'll still be there. He'll play.
Yeah.
But
Who knows?
ultimately, you know that he's playing not wanting to play. And that's a major problem. Wharton is a huge miss. Gahey is an even bigger miss.
I just think Forest at evens, regardless of what you said as well, is just Munoz back.
Yeah. I'm happy to take you on here. I definitely think it's a home win. I'm
Gonna
convinced.
sleep on it.
Okay. So that's my official tip. Next we've got excuse me, Tottenham versus Man City. And just a quick word on Guardiola here, because we had a situation in City Wolves where City won this game, by the way, right? So they got a decision that went against them, but ultimately 1-2-0 didn't matter, right? But we've got a situation where the VAR rears its ugly head. I mean, I say that, as you know, I'm pro-VAR, but I know that there's an awful lot of people out there who are anti-VAR, and I completely get why. But even though I'm
but 19 Premier League clubs are for it. Just Wolves was against it when they did that vote a while ago.
And ironically, Wolves were the beneficiary in this situation.
And they're the ones who want it, and they're the ones who want to leave the league by getting relegated, right?
But just to update anyone on the story that didn't hear it, so we had a first-time referee who a handball offence occurred in the box. Well, a potential handball offence. He didn't give the penalty. He was told to go to the screen and have a look. He went to the screen, had a look, and decided to stick with his original decision. I think that's one of the first times this season that's ever happened. I can't recall a time when another referee has gone against VAR in that spot. And Guardiola's made a lot of snide comments after the game saying everybody knows his name now, he's famous. This, as in insinuating that the referee has done this to raise his profile. And that's ridiculous. I mean, first and foremost, the decision is very 50-50. There's clear arguments for it to be a pen, and there's clear arguments for it not. So that referee should never have been sent to the screen in the first place because it wasn't clear and obvious. So VAR made an error in sending him to the screen initially. Once being sent, he deemed it not a pen and stuck with his on-field decision. As much as I am pro-VAR, I'm even more pro the referee that's on the pitch having the final decision. And if that's his final decision and that's how he sees the incident, then that's it. And he's overruled VAR. Remember, VAR stands for Video Assistant Referee, not Video Referee. That's crucial. It's only there to assist. And the referee made his own. And too many referees have bowed to VAR this season incorrectly. And this is a referee that's decided, no, I'm sticking with my guns. Massive respect to that referee, and disappointing from Guardiola, especially considering he won the game anyway, to call out the referee in this way and effectively discourage other referees from following suit. So that was disappointing. In terms of this game, I know you've got an angle. I agree with your angle. Do you want to talk about it first, or do you want me to go?
You can go for a change.
Okay, I mean, look, ultimately, on paper, and you read this fixture, and Tottenham versus Man City, and you just think, of course, it's a City win. But my case for the other side is City. Nothing is coming easy for City at the moment. Every single game was a struggle. They were terrible against United, as good as United were. Rodri obviously can't stay fit and looks a shadow of his former self. That is a big area, particularly when City have struggled to deal with transitions and quick counters for 2 years. Haven't been able to fix this problem. Furthermore, Spurs have a great record against Man City and have done really, really well and know how to play against them. Thomas Frank has beaten them himself away earlier this season. And I feel like Tottenham right now have absolutely nothing to lose. Whereas with City, 3 points is absolutely crucial here. So there's more pressure on. Actually, ironically, I think Spurs fans are kind of thinking this can't get any worse, and in a way that releases the shackles. And when it comes to City, I think it's so important. So I quite like the angle that you are now about to come forward with.
There's been some developments though since that angle.
Okay.
Look, I still think there's a bit of value. There's been some team news that Pedro Porro's injured now. He's going to be out for a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
That's big. Van der Ven as well, potentially out. He's not travelling to Frankfurt, but it's hard to tell if he's going to be fit for a City game.
Yeah.
I think those two players are quite key. If both of those players are out, then that could be a trouble for this bet. But I was eyeing up Tottenham plus 3/4 at 2.07. I think that's a huge price. I think the way City... Look, I mean, Tottenham aren't great, but there's one thing that Frank knows how to set up, and that's a low block. I mean, he did it even when he went to Brentford. Spurs came to Brentford, which was bizarre. He's going to do it again at City, right? Solanke, I think Solanke's a bit of an upgrade on Richarlison. And now that he's back fit playing, I think that's a bit of a boost there. And City being at 1.7 to win away, the way they've been playing, that's too short. That's too short. That's too short. So, look, I might still pull the trigger on the price, but it would be quite nice to have at least Van der Ven playing.
Yeah.
Because he's quite a key cog in that defence.
Yeah, he's a really important player. I agree. Porro as well, obviously not to the same level.
Yeah, he's
Van der Ven for sure. But I mean, just one other thing to think about with it. People have been getting on the back of Arsenal forwards line, players like Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli, these kind of players who haven't really been firing for them. In recent times, what is City's forward line doing? Like Haaland,
they had to buy Semio to score some goals, right?
And he's hit the ground running. In fairness, he's doing a great job straight off the bat. It's what happens when you buy proven Premier League quality.
Yeah, one thing I would add is that Spurs are playing on Wednesday at Frankfurt away, while City are playing at home against Galatasaray. So, bit of less travel for City.
Frankfurt's not a long flight though.
Yeah, but
45 minutes. Right.
No.
Yeah, it's quick. Honestly. Yeah, it's really quick. Anywho, Semenyo aside, the likes of Haaland, even Foden's dropped off a little bit. Doku's still no end product. Marmoush doesn't get enough game time for me. Every time he comes on, I actually think he does all right.
Well, there's talk about him leaving now, right?
And he could be leaving, exactly. So I just can't see City winning anything at a canter. I really can't. I think your shout with Wolves was unlucky to get a push. If anything, you probably should have scraped a win there. And that's City at home against the bottom side. So why are we so confident on why are the market so confident on City here? Don't really get it. Anyway, let's talk. I'm gonna tip up the Spurs win. By the way, I'm gonna say 2-1 Spurs in this game. In terms of the Monday night kickoff, we have got Sunderland versus Burnley to wrap things up. I feel like the ball might spend more time in the air than it does on the ground here. What's your model saying?
Uh, Sunderland 0.77 goals better. I mean, Monday Night Football, like fair enough.
Are you washing your hair that night?
Yeah. I think I'm watching the paint dry. But I'm going to put this Burnley to finish bottom bet on, so I'm going to be cheering Sunderland all the way.
Okay. I think, I don't know. For me, I mean, Sunderland haven't been beaten at home. Sunderland have not lost a game at home this season at the Stadium of Light. So
Yeah, but Burnley are so bad. Like I can't see an angle for them getting anything.
yeah, I mean they've
so
got
bad.
some big results. They've just drawn away at Liverpool. They've just drawn at home at Tottenham.
Yeah, but like those were lucky draws.
Yeah, but they've still got them.
They did get them, but if you look at the chances, they were just pure luck. Not pure luck, but you know what I mean.
I do. I'm not saying back Burnley here at all. I'm just saying if you're looking for a different angle, because Sunderland still look a shade short from 88 to 11. I'm not saying I don't think Sunderland will win. I'm just saying they look a shade short. If you are looking to get Burnley on side, though, my advice is don't go with a Burnley win. It would be to go with this or a double chance. It would be to go with an exact draw result because, as I said, Sunderland don't lose at home, right? And Burnley, it's very unlikely that Burnley are going to be the first team to come to the Stadium of Light and inflict a defeat upon them. So if you want to oppose Sunderland, my advice is do it with an exact result of a draw, which is 5-2, so 3.5, 3.6 probably on the exchanges. So that would be the way that I personally would approach that if I was laying Sunderland. Anyway, let's do a recap. So for me, I've got 3 shouts. I've got West Ham +1 on the Asian handicap market. So that means away at Chelsea. It means that if they draw or win the game, then the bet wins. If they lose by 1 goal, we get a refund. If they lose by more than 1 goal, the bet loses. So for that, the bet is priced at 2.08. Next of all, we have gone with Nottingham Forest to win at even money at home to Crystal Palace. And finally, in Liverpool versus Newcastle, I'm tipping up both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 1.92. We hit 3 out of 3 last week. Trust me, we are going to do the same again.
No chance.
What have you got?
Leeds +1. I think it's that at 1.9 now. Brentford plus at half at 1.9 as well. And then 2 maybe bet. Well, 2 TBC is Palace plus a half against Forest and Tottenham plus 3/4 against City. So 2 potentially 4 bets.
All right, so we've got 5 you guys as a minimum, potentially rising to 7. Make sure you keep an eye on our Twitter page, Stakehouse_pod, to see if those 2 potential shots come to fruition. That's it from us. Here's praying that Michael Carrick can keep up the good run. Enjoy your football and take care of yourselves.
Cheers.